First, allow me to give honor to God this morning and this afternoon. And I thank all of the men and women of faith who are on this call. I want to give a shout out to my colleague in government, Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. Thank her for her courageous effort in passing gun reform when she served in Congress. I want to thank her for all that she is doing. I want to give my thoughts and my prayers to the family of Justin Wallace, the 10-year-old young man from Rockaway, Queens, who unfortunately died as a result of senseless gun violence, a cowardly act by someone who suffers from a major disease, who recognizes that he had no other options and unfortunately had no respect for human life. And now a family has to bury a 10-year-old boy who wanted to be someone who wanted to focus on mathematics and who could have been a scientist or an architect. And unfortunately, now a family has to bury a child. My thoughts and prayers go out to those in Chicago. 55 people shot over the weekend. 55 in Chicago, Illinois, over this weekend. We certainly have a problem. And this is going to be a long, hot summer, not only in New York, but in every urban center across this nation, and even in the Caribbean. And that's why it's really critically important that individuals understand that public safety works best when a combination of individuals get together: law enforcement, clergy, elected officials, community leaders, activists. Countless number of individuals get together and recognize that this is a threat to our safety and to our humanity. And the problem really lies in our hands, that no one is coming in to save us. We've got to save ourselves. And it's important that, again, law enforcement be a part of this. I want to thank Pastor Monrose, and I want to thank my God Squad. I've been working with my God Squad ever since I was a member of the City Council almost 15 years ago. And Reverend Monrose understands, as a founding member of the Clergy for Safe Cities, which spans many of the major cities that are on this call today. They know the value of this type of relationship, because gun violence, my friends, has strengthened its grip on our young people and in our community. And what we've got to do is address gun violence and release that grip. And over this past year, as has been mentioned, communities across this state have experienced high record levels of gun violence. And as was mentioned by the governor, most of these gun manufacturers are not in our backyard. They're not in urban centers all throughout our country. And it's unfortunate that, as the Attorney General of the state of New York, that I and other attorney generals in this nation do not have the tools to go after gun manufacturers and gun distributors, that there is a federal law which prohibits us from taking any legal action against these individuals because they have hijacked the federal government. And this gun lobby, unfortunately, has a lot of power in Washington, D.C. And what we need to do is repeal this law, which provides immunity to gun manufacturers and gun distributors. If you get injured by a product, you could basically sue that product manufacturer. Unfortunately, as the Attorney General, I am prohibited to taking any action against any gun manufacturer or gun distributor in this nation. Why? Because Congress, unfortunately, has provided them safeguards. And we all know that the guns collected here in New York, 90% of the guns that we seize in New York are from the states in all along I-95, states with lax gun laws. And it's unfortunate. Actually, it's more than just unfortunate. It's outrageous that I cannot take any action against any of them because of these laws. In Rochester and Buffalo and Albany, gun violence has stolen so many lives, so many of our sons and daughters. I've attended too many funerals to count. I've held too many mothers and fathers over open caskets. There's something unnatural about a mother or a father burying their child. In 2020, almost a quarter of all violent crimes in New York State involved a firearm, and that doesn't even include New York City. And the percentage goes up to more than half for murders in the entire state. And so what we've got to do, if we are going to build back a better community from this epidemic of discrimination and hate, we must work together. We don't stand a chance if we work alone. And it's important that my office has been doing its part to fight back. Most recently in Rochester, we were able to recover 270 guns in a gun buyback. 270 in one gun buyback. And I want to thank the residents of Rochester. This past weekend, we did it in Kingston. We were able to recover a number of guns as well. And what we do and what we all need to do is to replace a gun, not just with some money, but with some technology, with a job, with an apartment, with some mental health services. We've got to replace those guns with something. And then we've got to focus on the federal government and urge them to pass responsible gun laws and to repeal the law in Washington, which provides protection and coverage for gun manufacturers and gun distributors. Taking guns off our street is only one method of controlling this form of violence. It's important, again, that we use technology, that we use data. We have hopefully a new ATF chairperson. We can work with that agency to provide the data which is absolutely necessary to keep these guns off of our streets. I want to thank the men and women of God who are on this call today. I want to thank all of the elected officials who are on this call today. But the only way that we're going to address this is by working together with data and with the power of the law, and also by instilling hope and jobs and apartments and housing and mental health services and any other services from community that unfortunately have not been invested in. We've got to invest in communities that historically have been ignored. And people need to know that there are individuals like you and me who care and who recognize that there is a higher power. I thank all of you. And with the right with the right people and the right tools, we can make this world a better place and a place where all God's children can thrive. God bless you and thank you.